Mr. Brennan did convert to Islam when he served in an official capacity on behalf of the United States in Saudi Arabia. And that fact alone is not what is most disturbing and makes him unfit for duty. What makes him unfit for duty was his conversion to Islam was the culmination of a counterintelligence operation against him to recruit him. And the fact that foreign intelligence service operatives recruited Mr. Brennan when he was in a very sensitive and senior U.S. government position in a foreign country means that he is either a traitor, which I'm not saying, but that's one of the options, and he did this all willingly and knowingly, or he did it unwillingly and unwittingly, which means he is naive and does not understand. He has the inability to discern and understand how to walk in those kind of environments, right, which makes him completely unfit to be the Director of Central Intelligence.
Man.
Wow.
Wow. John, 888-565-1470 if anybody wants to get in. John, if I understand you correctly, you just said, and I know you qualified it with the conversion to Islam back in Saudi Arabia, I guess in the 80s or 90s. We'll get into all of that. We want to dissect this thing. Isn't the main reason. He happens to be a Muslim. But are you kidding me? The head of the CIA is a Muslim? I mean, for real?
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
Now
we can talk about that as you would like.
Well, can I ask a question?
Let me now. You mentioned Team B2, and that's 19 of us, and we're both privileged to be part of the amazing group of national security experts. And I mean, did you run this by anybody? I mean, are you sure of what you're saying out there? Because none of us feel like being waterboarded or audited or anything crazy like that. We got enough problems, but if we're going to be saying definitively, and I mean, the other side is going to say, "Show me the evidence, show me the evidence, show me the evidence." You're comfortable in your analysis, your research.
Yes, I am. It's not really research. This is the facts of the matter are confirmed by U.S. Government officials who were also in Saudi Arabia at the time that John Brennan was serving there, and have direct knowledge. These are men who work in very trusted positions. They were direct witnesses to his growing relationship with the individuals who worked with the Saudi government and others, and they witnessed his conversion to Islam. Now, as you know, this shouldn't that in and of itself again shouldn't be shocking to people, because Mr. Brennan has made public statements. As a matter of fact, there's an article that was done by Jihad Watch that came out, I believe, yesterday, but it may have been a couple of days ago, where Mr. Brennan, I mean, they had the clip where Mr. Brennan specifically says during a public address, which, by the way, this speech he was given was sponsored by the Islamic Society of North America, which is, the leading Muslim Brotherhood entity in North America and a Hamas support entity, Hamas being the terrorist organization. And so he said during that speech that he has learned and gets his understanding and his worldview in large part from Islam. So it shouldn't be a large leap to imagine that he's converted to Islam. And again, I don't think that is, although I think to a lot of your listeners that would be big and shocking news, I think the news is that conversion was the culmination of the work of people in Saudi Arabia who work for the Saudi government. And that makes John Brennan just naive, foolish, dangerously ignorant, and totally unfit for this position.
We're going to show you a video right now, John. You may have seen it. We've showed it a couple of times to our audience. We want them to see it. And if you're
But
listening...
I did spend time as an undergraduate at the American University in Cairo in the 1970s. And time spent with classmates from Egypt, from Jordan, from Palestine, and around the world, who taught me that whatever our differences of nationality or race or religion or language, there are certain aspirations that we all share. To get an education, to provide for our families, to practice our faith freely, to live in peace and security. And during a 25-year career in government, I was privileged to serve in positions across the Middle East, as a political officer with the State Department, and as a CIA station chief in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, I saw how our Saudi partners fulfilled their duty as custodian of the two holy mosques of Mecca and Medina.
Oh.
I marveled at the majesty of the Hajj and the devotion of those who fulfilled their duty as Muslims by making that privilege, the pilgrimage. And in all my travels, the city I have come to love most is Al-Quds.
Oh my God, is Al-Quds.
Where three great faiths come together.
Where three great faiths come together.
Well, I find it interesting that he refers to it as Al-Quds, which is what the Islamic regimes refer to it, and we in the West do not refer to it as Al-Quds. So I think that that alone says it all. And he just, since he said it publicly, I do not in my article because I believe it's a breach of security, but he just admitted to the world, and he did in that speech, and I've heard that speech before, that he was the CIA station chief in Saudi Arabia. It was while he was the station chief of the CIA, meaning the #1 intelligence officer representing the United States in Saudi Arabia.
February 13th, 2010.
Mark, you had a thought.
Yeah, and your investigation and this whole Brennan thing just started with you were seeing patterns. You weren't actually going looking to see if he was a Muslim. You said he's acting very, very strangely. Is that correct? Is that how you actually came to this? This wasn't like a Muslim hunt. You're saying why is he acting this way? This was just an investigation how to find him. Is that correct, John?
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, his behavior while he served, as he's been the counterterrorism czar or the counterterrorism advisor to the president, has just simply been counter. His positions support our enemies, not the United States and our intent. It's just like an ambassador. The purpose of an ambassador working for the United States in any country is to push the agenda of the United States, not to figure out what the agenda of the other country is and convince our government to do that. And that's exactly what Mr. Brennan is doing. He is advocating positions that support Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and the Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, another question, John, Mark was asking is,
who vets this guy?
Yeah, when you are going to become...
Somebody has to clear him, right?
When you become the director of the CIA, is it the FBI's role to do the background investigation?
It would have been the FBI's role to clear him to work at the White House, yes. But I will tell you, if this is not known and the guy has leanings, this is not just John Brennan. You could ask, how did Valerie Jarrett get cleared? How did people who are avowed Marxists, who stand up publicly and praise Chairman Mao? And,
we ask that all the time.
how did these people get cleared? You couldn't have done this even 20 years ago, much less 40 years ago. If the president says he's working in the White House, he's working in the White House. Doesn't matter. The FBI could say he's not fit, and it doesn't matter. Now, I don't know what the results of the FBI investigation were, so I wouldn't know. But we've had that under numerous administrations. I don't know if you remember in the Clinton administration, there were people who failed polygraphs, who failed their drug tests, and they were still given clearances despite the objections of the FBI and others, and some of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Do we have a date, a time frame when the conversion to Islam occurred?
That would have been when he was the station chief in Saudi Arabia.
In Riyadh.
And that would have been in the 90s.
Right, in the 90s. And I would even speculate, we'll do this on another show, how Petraeus got removed from the CIA. It looks
how
like
convenient.
Yeah, it looks like Obama is setting up the team he wants for wherever he's going in the next couple of years. But the key question that is going to get asked, and this story today will lead to, particularly when you publish this thing, John, somebody at the White House press room saying to Jay Carney, there's a story floating around out there that John Brennan converted to Islam. True or false? Well, when that story gets out, as it's getting out now, how close are you to the sources that validated that? Are you 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees? Where are you in this process, John?
I'm close to them, but I will tell you I am never going to share who they are, other than what I've just shared, and they're never going to come out publicly, or certainly have never given any indication they would do that. They're both they're still in active government positions and are not going to. They understand the environment in which we're in. I mean, we're in an environment where this discussion has been the truthful discussion about Islam, Sharia, the Muslim Brotherhood has been totally shut down inside our system. And so somebody who pops their head up and says, "Yeah, I was there and I witnessed it," that guy he's done.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, yeah.
All right. As far as the sources that you have, do they have documented evidence, or do they just see it, or do they witness it, or what is the actual evidence that they have that he is actually converted to Islam? It's a personal experience?
Yes, they were there.
Oh, they were there when he converted?
They were, yeah.
Oh, when he said the Shahada, they were there?
You're getting a little tight. They have direct knowledge.
I'm sorry.
They have direct knowledge.